Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I am Alex Johnson. I am president of the Plano West Rotary Club, and I am going to hand it over to our amazing, superb, super duper Sergeant of Arms, Mr. Mike Walker. Take it away.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. For those of you there helping at the golf tournament last Thursday, it was a little nippy.
You were outside, we were inside.
It was pretty cool. Anyway, we didn't win second place, in case you're asking.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, we shot 9 under and one stroke away from winning something.
Wow.
That was a great event for Benton, his group stuff. So let me get on to my job at hand. That's a brag bucks, and I think I'll start with Joy. She is a visitor.
I do. Hi, everybody. Sorry I haven't been around the last month. It's been a bit hectic at work, to put it mildly. This is my dear friend and one of my nurses, Susan Barclay. And so she's attending the meeting with us today to kind of check it out and hear what Joy's always raving about. And my brag is, I'm going to try to do it without tearing up. I want to brag and share how honored I am to have been such a substantial part of Rose's life. She is going to be missed so much more than anybody knows. She was my adopted mom, and I, her adopted daughter. So it was such an honor to be part of that lady's life. I know y'all loved her, and so I'm just so proud to have been part of her life.
Thank you very much. She was a special lady. Okay, Lisa, you maybe have a brag for us today.
Well, I also feel the same way kind of about Rose. I'm really, really upset about Rose. I don't know. It's like some people you just kind of click with. And immediately I clicked with her, and she was just fun. Fascinating life, just fascinating life. I mean, we really should have had her speak at one of our meetings. Anyhow, my brag, a little bit happier, on a happier note, is about our Halloween party. And thank you so much, Michelle and Glenn, for sitting outside in the freezing cold. And I cannot believe how much money we raised. I was just, as Michelle knows, I was just going to be happy if we made a few $100s, and we ended up making almost as much as we made last year with a full party. It was just amazing. I thanks for everyone that came out and participated. It was a success beyond what I could even imagine during COVID. So thank you, Michelle. I couldn't have done it without you. And Diana, every year, you guys show up and you help, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. LaShawn, do you have a brag for us this afternoon?
I don't have a particular brag. I would like to acknowledge your new look. I don't think I remember the extra, but it is November, and there's a deer sitting behind you. So okay.
I didn't know if anyone noticed my deer. He's talking to me this morning. It was deer season.
He's speaking to me too. I just keep looking. I don't have a particular brag, and also Michelle, your hair is very nice today. I like it. I don't have a particular brag. I'm in a really good mood. Life is good. I'm happy. Glad to be here today.
Hey, thank you. Glad you're here. Mr. Libby, you have a brag for us this afternoon?
Well, not really, I guess. I'm just glad to be here. I've some tests and stuff, and so far the news is okay, but it's just good to be here.
We're glad you're here. Mr. Fred Beamerdorfer, do you have a brag?
Yeah, I want to brag on the folks that helped with the food distribution on Saturday. We didn't have our core group. James, I hope you're doing better. And, and then Glenn drove up long enough to give us the list of where to deliver. But we were without the core group, but it went pretty fast and the weather was great. So, but it was a great opportunity to serve the community.
Thanks, Fred. Mr. Zane, you ever bragged this afternoon?
Honestly, nothing in particular. Everything's been going pretty well. My second midterm for like my hardest class, just we got our results back and I did well. So I was really happy about that. So yeah, that's it.
Thanks for sharing. Thank you. Mr. Glenn, do you ever brag?
I do. We were able to get most of our family in our backyard last weekend. It was social distancing or whatever, but we got to see grandbabies and kids and spouses and everything else. Not everybody, but most everybody. And that might be our Thanksgiving, Christmas, and everything else. Who knows? But that was fun. That was fun.
Thank you. Michelle, do you ever brag?
Just the same one. It was just a beautiful day that day. And we had my mom and her two great granddaughters. And so she got to hold the baby for the first time. And I think that was awesome to see. So it was a good day.
Well, thank you. All right, let's see. I got Roxanne. Roxana, I don't know if that's your, there you are. You ever brag today? You're on mute.
There, okay.
Yeah.
I voted, and also, well, my girls didn't have school today and yesterday, so I'm enjoying them right now. That's all.
Oh, that's good. Thank you. Gary, are you there in spirit or?
I'm here. Can you not see me?
No. Well, you might turn the light on.
Mike has jokes. I love it.
Okay. How do I do this? Let me look.
Well, you don't have, we don't need to see you. We just want to hear from you.
Okay.
There we go.
Well,
I got on. I was muted because I kept talking earlier and no one could hear me. And now you can see me. I'll just brag a couple things. I'll brag on the weather. It's beautiful. Secondly, I got to see my mother who just turned 93 a couple days or Monday and or Sunday, I guess. And she's been where she's at. They've been under quarantine because someone had COVID. So it's the first time I've seen her in like 3 or 4 months. But and then I guess I was just, when we were talking about Rose, I guess I can talk about it one we do later, but Rose loved doing scholarships. I think she did it with our group 2 years. Then the third year she started getting, I guess, year before last, she wasn't able to make it, but she loved doing the scholarship interviews, and just a few people that really, really enjoy it. And she was one of them. So we'll miss her a lot.
Thank you. Thanks, Gary. I think we got time maybe for one more. Mr. Thomas, if you want to turn your light on or flip a switch?
Well, before I do my brag, I just feel, I really feel the fact that I didn't get an opportunity to meet her. You guys have said so many wonderful things, so I know that I have missed something, and a dear person in my life, so I do hate that. My brag is the fact that I had like Gary, I am just coming down from being quarantined. I know no one has seen me, but my wife and I have been quarantined. So we are just finishing that quarantine up. And I think she has a concept incorrect because she's been keeping social distancing from me for some reason. I have no well, I have no idea. I think it's some kind of, she's trying to make a point. But yeah, we were in quarantine and discovered that we didn't need to be in quarantine. So, but I'm happy to be released from jail. I mean, not from jail, but.
Okay, thank you, James. I think we only had a few we've got to move on, as Mr. President was saying. I'm sorry I can't get to a few that didn't get a chance to have a brag, but I've got to have a kind of a member moment like we did last week. And the spotlight today is Mr. Biemendorfer. Fred, I have a couple of questions for you. You've got to get off of mute. I'm not going to ask you where you were when you asked Janet to marry you. I'm not going to ask you what you had for that first meal together, but I would like to know, one, how long have you been in your business as a surveyor?
I got into surveying in 1977 and got my license in 81 and been in Plano since 83 and have owned Rome Surveying since 1988.
Okay, so how many pieces of property do you think you've surveyed in all that time?
It's interesting to drive down the road and look and say, I remember this, I remember that. But the Douglas community, that was like a homecoming for me because, and Glenn knows and Mike knows, because House on the Corner built a lot of structures over there, and so did Habitat. I've actually surveyed some of the property for Shiloh Baptist Church and for Avenue F Church of Christ. But I told Janet when I passed, I wanted to take the ashes and scatter over the property that I've surveyed. Anyway, quite a few.
The final question is, of all the properties that you've surveyed, and you probably surveyed that are some are just out in the middle of no place, is there one piece of property that really stands out as unique in terms of what you found while you were surveying?
Well, I'd have to say it's probably, it's not a piece of property, but during the RTC days, and I'm forever grateful to John Jenkins, who was in Plano West Rotary. He was a tax accountant for the Birmingham Trust in Wiley, Texas. And it was during the RTC days. And I remember the first time I went up there, we'd had about a 6-inch snowfall. Here I was walking around a 350-acre tract, and because they wanted to start buying up contiguous tracts, they eventually amassed 1,400 acres. Then they started selling it off as the economy came back and everything. But to this day, we're still surveying. That started in January of 1989.
Wow. It's quite, a lot of people may not know what the RTC stands for. Most of you know what that stands for? Fred, you want to tell them resolution?
Yeah. When all the savings and loans, fell on their face, and then the federal government intervened, and they were trying to disperse all that property. Unfortunately, for the people that owned it, it was, 50 cents on the dollar and everything. So people really amassed a lot of land at a very economical rate.
I had a friend years and years ago that was a real estate agent on south of Fort Worth, and he was looking at buying some. I'm not sure what, but anyway, at the end of the day, when they got the surveying done on that property, there was about a 1/2-acre parcel of land that wasn't on any plat. And he homesteaded it, and now he owns it. Did you ever run across something like that?
Well, it's called a vacancy.
Yeah.
When land was dispersed by either the Republic of Mexico, the Republic of Texas, or the state of Texas, sometimes there were gaps that you could imagine, and it's technically still owned by the state of Texas. And so they pay the taxes on it and fulfill it and everything. They can acquire it and everything. It's not very often that you find those, but you do find some things you haven't ever run into before.
Hey, thanks, Fred. Mr. President, there you are. Back to you, sir.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Walker. And thank you for being our membership moment person, Fred. Well, now what do we want to do is I'm going to turn this over to two-time past president Glenn Thornton and illustrious club secretary who's going to lead us into prayer.
Yes, bow with me, please. Lord, we thank you for this day, this beautiful day, and the privileges we have, like to vote. And we thank you for this group of people, Rotarians and friends, and the service we do. Guide us through this week, this year. We look for your guidance, Lord. We ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Glenn. And now I want to turn it over to our foundation chair and executive director of the Wellness Center, Joy, who's going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Joy. Well, in line with the Pledge of Allegiance, one of the most important thing we can do as American citizens is to vote. So I definitely want to encourage, if everybody here, if you haven't voted, vote. This is important. The polls are open till 7 p.m. tonight. One of the most amazing things about Rotary is that we transcend partisan politics. We transcend difference in religions, differences in everything. We respect all of it. And that's what's one of the greatest things that I feel with Rotary is, even though we may be of different parties, different opinions, as Rotarians, we all have the single clear motive of serving our community. And that's what I've been in Rotary 17 years, and that's one of the greatest values. We put all that other stuff aside, and all of us agree we need to vote today. So if you're an American citizen, vote today. If you're not, can't wait for the day to find out you're a citizen, and then you get to vote. And so, exciting day. Well, one of the things that we've talked about, I'm going to throw up my club business slide here, which is something we just started doing, is we talked about Rose. Well, one of our amazing members, Rose Wilderin, she passed away last week. We received an email from Glenn talking a little bit about her, but I don't know if you caught it. Rose actually she's from Oklahoma, and she was a 19-year member of the Norman Sooner Rotary Club, 19 years with perfect attendance. I actually reached out to the current president of that Rotary Club because they weren't aware of Rose passing away. And Glenn and I both talked to her son, Bedri. In fact, her son, he wants to have more conversations with me because he's just happy that we're actually honoring his mom. And we're lucky that he reached out to us. Actually, he reached out to Dick Rentella. For those that are new to the club, he's one of our honorary memberships that we just honored. And Dick contacted Glenn. And so Dick's her CPA. And so that's how Dick knew. So we found out, and other people have found out, and Rose has had an instrumental impact on a lot of areas in our lives. And as Joy has said, she was very a strong advocate and an active volunteer at the Plano Senior Center and with the Wellness Center. And that was actually a true passion of Rose. And she actually had other passions. And one of the passions that we decided to tap into is she felt the Rotary Foundation was really important. And so Rose is a Paul Harris Fellow, and she also worked closely with the club to give her late husband, a Paul Harris Fellow as well. And this happened before I was in this club, but Glenn has shared that with me. So one of the things we decided to do as a board is to collect donations from club members to do it in Rose's name towards the Rotary Foundation, because that's something that she felt was really important. So far, we had Kent Stone and Mike Walker. They've made contributions. If anybody else would like to make the contributions, if you see bit.ly/honor-rose, and all this is going in her name towards the Rotary Foundation. So definitely encourage anybody to do that, because the foundation was something that was very important to Rose, to the fact that she wanted her late husband to be a Paul Harris Fellow. So that's something that we're going to continue to honor her on. So with that, let me move on to other areas. Once again, our club is at 44 members. When Taha gets inducted next week, Taha's inducted. We have a number of very active committees that need committee members. Membership chair is Roxana, who's on. Contact her if you would like to help her with membership. Let me point out, membership isn't about recruiting. We don't have a recruiting problem. Membership is about member support. There's a lot of different areas for us to support our members: training, retention, involvement, interconnectivity. That's where Roxana and her committee are focusing a lot of different areas, their activities on. Michelle is head of our service project chair. Now, that doesn't mean Michelle runs every service project. I think everybody knows we look for members to champion their passions. Michelle's going to help you organize it and bring in the resources in our club. I really point that out because a lot of people think, here's a great idea. Alex, you do it. Michelle, you do it. Glenn, you do it. That's not how it works. We're going to help you do it because this is your passion. So if you don't do it, it's not going to succeed, but we're going to help you succeed as you lead it. So please let Michelle know if you have service projects ideas that you are going to champion. If you're not going to champion, it'll go on the long list of ideas that we don't have a champion for. Club administration, that's Pandora Hodge. Glenn is training her on club administration. Pandora has actually started her own NGO in Africa, in her home country. She's a very organized, structured woman, and she's excited about participating in what we do. So contact her and Glenn, because Glenn is training her. And then we have our illustrious foundation chair, Joy, who probably knows more about nonprofits and foundations than anybody in this club, because that's what she does for a living. And she has a very active, I think we have 7 members of her committee, and foundation is one of our key emphasis for our club. And that's what makes Rotary go round. And then we have public image chair, who is Bianca. Now, Bianca has class during our meetings, so she is not able to be here for our meetings, but trust me, she does a lot behind the scenes. She handles our social media. If you notice, we have a very active social media with LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, what's the other? Oh, Facebook. Bianca oversees that. She ran our fire department project. And so just because you don't see her, don't think she's not doing things. Because remember, we don't require attendance, although we like it, but we do require service. And so if you would like to help Bianca in her public image, which is basically PR and marketing for the club, please let her know. And now, question that always comes up, how do I get somebody's phone number? Club Runner. Everybody has access to Club Runner because as soon as you're inducted, Glenn sends you an email with your login, and we encourage you to log in. Zane, I'm probably pre-advertising Zane, so is it okay if I talk about what you're doing? Zane is putting together technology training for the club, and he's going to have sessions for people to be able to log in, and he will train you on how to get into Club Runner, myrotary.org, how to access our social media accounts, the pertinent information in myrotary.org, like online training, club information. And Zane's also going to create videos. So that way, members will not have any excuse for not knowing how to utilize all the Rotary technology. If you remember a couple months ago, I actually did a program on it, but Zane's going to do it a lot better than I ever did. And I think Glenn has done a program on it over the years as well. So we think with having the ability of people of dialing in and getting personally trained by Zane and being able to watch videos on it, it'll kind of answer a lot of those questions. And that's really important because people think that me and Glenn are the club directories, and we're not. And so we want you to use Club Runner just like we do. That's every time people ask me for someone's phone number, go to Club Runner. That's how I get it. You can download it, email, phone numbers, and all that. So, and there's also an app, which I hadn't used in years, and Glenn reminded me of that. See, Michelle has it up on her window. So you can have everybody's phone number, email on your phone. So that way you can handle that yourself. So yay club. So everybody's kind of putting everything together to help train everybody. So that way you can be independent. Also talk about training. Joy has invited her committee to a foundation seminar on November 21st at 10 a.m. Zoom. Anybody in the club can attend it. It's free. I encourage people to attend the seminar. It's from the district and it teaches you about the Rotary Foundation and our district grants and some other areas. So if you have any questions or if you want to attend, contact Joy. You could get her number from Club Runner. Hey. There's also training called Lone Star PETS. PETS stands for President-Elect Training Seminar. And it's once a year. Normally it's like $500. It's 5 days. Well, right now during the pandemic, Rotary's not doing that type of training. So this year it's all on Zoom. Well, because it's on Zoom, it's cheap. It's like $50, so it's like 10% cheaper than it's normal. So if you attend it, if you want to attend it, it's not till February, contact Roxana. The club will reimburse you because it is phenomenal training. Even if you have no intentions of being president ever, there's multiple, the sessions go on February 23rd through 26th, and there's multiple sessions on Zoom between 4 and 5:45. So you can pick and choose different topics. It's Zoom, come on, it's easy to do. We're gonna reimburse you your whole $50, but it's gonna make you more knowledgeable about Rotary. And really what's powerful, it's gonna give you the opportunity of meeting other Rotarians. And we call it Lone Star PETS because it includes all the Rotary clubs in Texas, as well as some from Louisiana and Oklahoma as well. So it's a really powerful experience. Can I see a show of virtual hands of those that have been to PETS before? I know who you are, so you better put your hands up. And Kent, he didn't put his hand up, but I know he's been. Basically, anybody that's been president, they've been through PETS. And so it's great. It's basically to teach you everything that you didn't know you need to know about Rotary. And so please sign up for it, contact Roxana. We consider that to be one of our member support benefits. That's why you're contacting Roxana. So that's on the leadership and training. I want to talk about all the previous service projects that we've done just in the last week. I mean, this is one of the reasons I joined this club, because we talk about how we have served and how we're gonna serve. So, when I joined the club, Michelle was president, and she always had these little sheets of paper at all the meetings that talked about upcoming service projects. I thought that was so powerful and it was inspiring for me. So I kind of doing it in the same way on this club business chart. And so how we serve, which is actually something on our website too, that Michelle, it's kind of like our service blog. If you guys ever look on our website, we had our very successful Halloween party. Lisa talked about it, but like she said, we almost made as much money as we did last year live. I thank everybody in this club for donating items. We partner with North Texas Pioneers Rotary Club. They bought a whole lot of items. Didn't they buy out most of that wine almost? And so that was, we partnered, they're the Wednesday night club that typically meets at Greek Isles like we do. We do a lot of things with them. We have a lot of friends like we do in all the Rotary clubs. But this is something that, as Lisa talked about last year, that we started 8 years ago and started partnering with them. And so that was excellent. And thank you for everybody who participated in that or who donated items to that, because that's just your donations is what raised the money. So thank you. That's awesome. And Lisa, Michelle, and Glenn, they not only was part, well, I know Lisa and Michelle were part of the planning with the other club, but Lisa, Michelle, and Glenn, they sat outside for a bunch of hours and it wasn't warm. So everybody needs to like say, yay, kiss their butt and say, you guys are awesome, because they did what none of us want to do. Nobody wants to sit. If you guys were there, they were dressed in ski. Glenn couldn't even see his face. I mean, he was total ski gear with snowmobile ski suits and everything. because they sat outside the entire time dealing with short timers like me and LaShawn that just went there to pick up food and buy stuff. And so we were there for a half an hour. Those guys were there for hours. So thank you very much to the three of you. And the other club participated, but I'm focusing on us. I also want to thank Michelle, Roxana, Mike, and Fred, myself. We volunteered at the Crew Golf Tournament. For those that don't know, Crew is a leadership program for young adults. Our long-term member, 35-year member, past President Benton Hall, he has been head of the high school program for Crew for I think 45 years. This is the first time we've actually volunteered for Crew, which is great because they volunteer for us every year at selling funnel cakes. So I'm glad. Thank you for the 5 of us that helped out, and Mike actually golfed. So thank you for enduring the cold, Mike. So that was Wednesday and Thursday service projects. And then we had our Saturday meal delivery service project. I don't know, I didn't see the project summary on that. So I don't know how many people volunteered, who from our club, or how many we served, but I know we helped a lot of people, and we had a lot of, I was there briefly, or maybe about an hour, and then I had a family emergency to leave, so I don't know how it ended up, but thank you everybody that did participate in that. And we do it through the end of the year. So there's really only probably about 3 or 4 of them left, because we do it every other week through the end of December. So participate while you can. It's a very exciting event. What else do I want to talk about? Birthdays, real briefly. I would like to say happy birthday to Fred Biermendorfer on the 20th. So in 17 days, he turns finally like about 30 years old, Fred. Sashimo, he turns his birthdays on the 23rd, and Roger Libby, his birthday on the 23rd. So Roger and Fred are here. Happy birthday to you guys. And everybody call and text them because they're young. So, they finally voted for the first time this season. So it's great. Thank you. The young adults are what we need for our voting. And so I also would like to talk about upcoming service projects. Then I get to move into our pecan team. We are organized donated shoes. The last one is on November 7th. We formally finished the service project at the end of October, collecting shoes. Shoes are still coming in. We get calls and emails, so they're still dropping them off at Greek Isles. But this Saturday is the last time we're going to organize it, because the organization is going to be picking them up next week. So if we continue to get shoes, that's not a bad thing. We will just keep them for next year, because this is something we're going to do annually. We really got a lot of participation from the community, other Rotary clubs. We got shoes from Waco, other organizations. And so this is something we're going to do annually. So volunteer on that. It's majority high schoolers. So if you want to volunteer with the youth, Plano Senior High, their Interact Club, and they recruit other interactors. I think they usually have about 10, 15 people volunteering on that. So it's your last opportunity. And then we do have a new project, as you see on there, in donating pajamas for kids of veterans. Our member, Erica, she is leading that up. If you go to bit.ly donate PJs, that's where you can go to the webpage on it. We're partnering with the American Legion, Post 321 in Plano, and they're partnering with the VA. So these pajamas are going to be collected through the month of November, and then the VA social worker will take them and distribute them to kids, veterans. It's not Plano kids, it's veterans in the DFW area, but we're partnering with the Plano American Legion Post. And so they're going to get them for Christmas. So please donate PJs. If you go to that bit.ly donate PJs, you'll see the website. You can sign up. We're dropping them off at Greek Isles. Greek Isles is so wonderful. So drop your PJs there. The questions on it are all on the webpage. If you do drop them off at Greek Isles, buy lunch. They make themselves available to us for all these Halloween parties, shoe drive, donated shoes, PJs. They allow us to use them as their drop off. The least we could do is buy a meal or buy a drink or something. And so with that, my final thing, this is World Interact Week. We sponsor 2 Interact clubs, the Clark High School Interact Club and the Plano Senior High School Interact Club. Those clubs are doing things in honor of Interact Week, and we will support them. So I'm sorry, we're just such an active club. It's hard to keep up with ourselves, so it's exciting. But now what I'm going to do is introduce our amazing pecan team. Oh, what just happened? I overdid it. You guys should see something flipping. Do you guys see a new slide up there? Oh, I'm not seeing it. I'm on. Okay, good. Well, our club has been selling pecans. Nobody can tell me when we started, but I know it's been over 30 years when I talk to other members. And this year we're going to have Michelle Thornton, Gary Busing, and Fred Biemendorfer. They're going to tell us about how we sell pecans and why we sell pecans and how you can make a difference. So I will turn the mic over to our illustrious pecan team.
All right, thank you. Let's see. How's that? Can y'all see my screen now? Yeah, okay. I can't hear anybody. That's weird.
Yeah, we can.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, good. I can hear you now. I was saying I could hear Glenn in the other room. That was weird. Okay, all right. I'm assuming y'all can see my presentation. Alex asked us to talk about how our pecan fundraiser turns into scholarships for senior high students. So that's what we're going to do today. And we're just going to try to book it through here because we're running a little bit behind. So in a nutshell, haha, pun intended, this is just some of the overview here and a timeline. We sell pecans from now through mid-January. That's when we wrap up. So we go through the holiday season, and that's when everybody wants to buy pecans and cook with them, bake with them anyway. In the March to May timeframe is when we solicit and receive the applications, and we interview our high school seniors. And then we have a process for that we'll explain later to choose. And so then we announce our scholarship recipients in the May-June timeframe. And then in the fall, so again, this time of year is when the winners from earlier this year, we will, they'll go to, they're in school this fall, so they're turning in their checks for reimbursement. And is there a problem? Oh, you're not seeing it. Okay, Glenn, you're the technology guy. Can you help me figure
it? It just needs to be expanded to full screen mode.
Oh, that's weird. So you can see my queued up slides.
That's right.
Right. So if you hit like this, there's a little slideshow icon in the lower right.
Oh, there it is, I think. No, that's subtitles.
Lower right.
Lower right.
He's
Yeah, I'm on a Mac, so.
Oh, it might be different then. But we can still see it. We can see it's a little smaller.
So at the very top of the PowerPoint, it does have slideshow. Can you just click on that?
Yes.
You see it at the very top?
No.
There's home, insert, draw, design, transitions, animation, slideshow.
Oh, menu item she's talking about.
Yeah, at the top of your PowerPoint. The very top, right underneath the red bar.
What did you do?
There we go. There we go.
There, you had it.
Oh, wait. Yeah, go back.
Oh, here. Now I think I.
Oh, there we go. At the bottom right there. Click that button.
Well, that's what I did at the very beginning.
Oh.
See, I think it's, you know what? It's displaying my screen, not my monitor. That's because my monitor is only showing the presentation. That's really interesting. Okay. Okay. Well, I guess we're just gonna have to go.
See it.
So
Michelle,
did it? It's fine, but did it work when you hit slideshow? Because for a second it looked like it was working.
It's all I see is my slides on my monitor. Oh, maybe if I disconnect my monitor.
Can you escape and get back to the?
Let's see.
There you go. We can see it, your cursor now. So if you go to the very top, see a slideshow? Over to the right.
Weird.
Right there. Up.
Do it?
No.
This is
Right.
really weird. I mean, what y'all are seeing is literally different from what I'm seeing. So,
You
okay.
know, Michelle, but we could see it. So you could just go ahead and continue.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do that because we're running out of time here. Now I gotta back up my slides here. Okay. All right, so that's our process from selling pecans in the fall. Like I said, interview process and announcements in the spring, and then reimbursing our winners in the fall again. And so the goal of our scholarships in the past and presumably going forward is we want to encourage young people to build a heart of service, since that's what Rotary is all about, the service above self, and to learn the joy of serving other people, and to hopefully create future Rotarians, and to also offer financial assistance as they pursue higher education. So our pecans, so Fred, do you want to talk through the pecan slides?
If I can see it. Anyway, I chatted with everybody just a minute ago. I got a confirmation from Norma that the pecans will be ready for pickup on Friday.
Okay.
So I'll go down there and pick them up, and I'll probably take the 10 cases up to county clerk's office so they get started. And I won't take them over to the Greek Isles on Friday. I don't think they need to be bombarded with those, but I'll send my address. We're on Avenue G, just 5 blocks north of 15th Street and Avenue G. If you want to come by the office and pick up a case of pecans or whatever, you're welcome to. Or we can wait until Monday and take everything that over to Greek Isles and so forth. But the pecans are down inside 635, not too far, just south of Farmers Branch. But anyway, but talking a little bit about the pecans and everything, the success we've had is fortunately we've got some businesses and also county clerk's office that have helped us out for several years now. When Brenda Taylor was the county clerk, that's when they started selling pecans. And every time I go in there to file a plat, they always ask me, when are the pecans going to be here and stuff, but they do a great job. And they'll probably end up selling about 15 cases. I'll take 10 cases to them. Anybody that you do business with, or even past Rotarians like dentist Curtis Crandall, we were in Sunday school class, aside from being a Rotary, and they sell a couple cases. Huffines sells about 6 cases because Lynn and Michelle have handled them the last couple of years. And then King Arthur Clock, Jim Forrest, he's a past Rotarian. He'll sell 2 or 3 cases of pecans. So, and they actually, what they do at the county clerk's office, all they do is they put the signs up and they'll lay the pecan out there and they'll sell themselves. But the thing that I really feel good this time of the year, because typically at work we'll buy 3 or 4 cases of pecans, and we'll give pecans to our employees, but we'll also give them, I usually take some over to City of Plano, planning and engineering, because I work with them throughout the year, and then some of the other folks we work with, engineers and so forth, maybe the City of Lucas, City of Parker and everything. But the most gratifying thing about the pecans is seeing the expression on people's face when you just hand them a bag of pecans and everything. I've never run into anybody that doesn't like pecans. But anyway, it's just gratifying to be able to do that over the holidays. Kind of sets that precedent, and at the same time you're doing something for the youth, like Zane and some of his peers and everything, because they're very deserving of the scholarships when they get them.
Thank you, Fred. Appreciate that. So just to back up here real quick, just some details. The bags are 14 ounces. They're $10 a bag, and there's 25 in a box or a case. So when you decide that you want to get some of those from Fred or from us, most likely, then that's going to be the cost for those. They should, as we said, they'll be available soon, and they're great for baking this time of year. Fred also talked a lot about you can give them to your business clients. We have a few members who give them away as gifts for their business clients. Of course, family members, we give them to our family a lot. You can sell them to coworkers who might want to cook with them, or philanthropic friends who love supporting scholarships. And then Fred talked about some of the businesses that we have been supporting, and Fred does a lot of them. And so he takes to a lot of those businesses, and we encourage you to find other businesses that you may want to ask them to carry the pecans and donate them as well. We can also give you a laminated sign like this if you want to give that to anybody who's going to help you sell pecans, just so they can have a little sign up in their store or office or whatever. So from there, Gary, would you like to talk about the scholarship side?
Yeah. Okay. Now I was smart, Fred. I actually printed these out so I can read them as opposed to trying to see them on my telephone. The scholarships. Once we collect all the money from the pecan sales, we use that money for our scholarships. This is for Plano High School seniors to help with their college education. Currently, we are providing 3 scholarships for $2,000 a piece. However, it used to be, I've been doing this quite a few years. I don't know how many anymore, probably between 12 and 15 years as the chairman. But for many years, we only gave $1,000. We gave 3 or 4. We did 3 and then 4 scholarships over the years. However, with inflation and everything, and I guess our ability to sell more pecans, this last year, we actually gave out 6 scholarships. Plano West paid for 5 of them, and Plano Sunrise paid for 1 student for their higher education. Now, our scholarships are a little bit different. It's a reimbursement plan where once we select the students that we're going to award them to, they have to send us college tuition or bills from their first semester. We actually, I guess, have paid everybody for this last year for their first fall semester. We sent them out their checks. So it is, they have to send receipts. Now, as far as how we get out the announcement and applications, we usually do this anywhere from February to April. We used to do this, well, we used to just put them, we'd send them to the counselors and they would put them online. Then I guess Plano ISD came up with Naviance. I'm not sure what year that is, but our application for scholarships have always been on there for the students to find. However, we found that it is quite difficult to find them on there. Now, and I want to make a special thanks to Alex for bringing us into the 21st century. Instead of doing paper scholarships and then mailing them in, me making copies, pass them out to the committee, everything's done online. It makes it very nice. Now, Alex, this last year, not only did we put it on Naviance, we also sent them out to all the Interact clubs, the Rylarians, students that didn't make RILA, 4-way test participants, and also the schools. Not only are the Plano ISDs, we also have John Paul II, Prestonwood Baptist, and a few other organizations where they have seniors. But it is on Naviance also. We have a deadline of May 1st, which will be May 1st, 2021. Then my committee, we look at them all. Let me switch over this page. We create a committee. I'm the chairman. I want to thank all the volunteers over the years. Some years have been easier. some a little bit harder, but we've always had a quorum of people. I think last year we had Alex, myself, I think it was Benton, and then Roger was the newbie. So we always like to get new people in there so they can kind of see how it all works. And so I'm always looking for volunteers. We'll usually do 4 to 5 people. With Zoom, it makes it a little bit easier because the interviews are now 15 minutes and we have them one after the other. Now this last year, if I'm not mistaken, we did like 20, between 18 and 20 interviews, a lot more than we normally do. In the olden days, we used to get the applicants, I'd pass them out to everybody. We'd pick the top 10 or 12, then we'd meet at Greek Isle on a Saturday. And sometimes they weren't on time and it got to be where we just said first come, first serve. But now we're able to, with Zoom, we're able to meet with everybody, which makes it real nice. Let me see here. I already talked about that. Then after we have the meeting with all the interviews, we end up picking a number of applicants that we have a discussion and try to come up with who we want. And sometimes they stick out, sometimes they don't. We have pretty good discussions. And then we announce the recipients of the class meetings. That's pretty much it. It amazes me. I don't know how many of these interviews I've done over the years, probably 150. I know I've looked at 200 or 300 applications or more, but it's it's a fun experience because it's amazing what some of these seniors have done. I mean, one person, I don't even remember her name, but her resume, her application, she'd done more in high school than most people do in their lifetime. We didn't give her a scholarship. I don't think she actually needed it, but I remember that she was going do an internship that summer in Paris, France, working with these doctors on some kind of microbiology something. I don't even know what it was, but it's just truly amazing what these kids get accomplished. The other thing, it used to be, I missed this part. In the beginning, we basically did it on a needs basis. And we've changed that this last year with Alex. We decided that we want to actually look at, we have enough to pick from where they do service above self and have worked with Rotary service projects. So pretty much out of those 18 to 20 that applied, most of them all had some connection to Rotary, which made it a little more difficult. But still, we all agreed that that's probably, since it's a Rotarian scholarship, it helps. One thing I did want to mention, Brenda Taylor, we talked about her earlier up in the courthouse. Rose loved doing scholarships for a couple of years, but Brenda really loved doing this. I never had to ask. She always volunteered every year. That probably we did together 5 or 6 years in a row. And out of the scholarships, because of her love for this, we actually select 2 recipients to get the Brenda Taylor Award scholarship. One of these has been provided by her son and her family for last 5 or 6 years, but he pays that one on there, and then we pay for one. So it's a very good tribute to her. But I think that's pretty much. Oh, also we let everyone know who the winners are, but then it's also my job to send out letters to the ones that applied, we interviewed and did not win. So, but we have emails, so I don't have to send them in the mail anymore. It just makes it a lot easier. So that's about it. If anybody has any questions.
Thank you, Gary. I just want to wrap up real quick because I know we're running behind, and I apologize. Y'all couldn't see my screen. Somebody should have yelled at me. I will send some of this information out by email. Basically, you'll either get your pecans from Fred, especially if you want cases or boxes, but I think Glenn and I might also keep a few in our garage too, just so you've got two opportunities to get those from us. And we will eventually have them at the different sites when we get Hirsch's and Huffines and King Arthur Clocks, when they have their pecans for sale. You could send some of your friends to those locations if that's closer, or they can buy from you. And so just the last slide to kind of wrap everything up. Make sure you tell everybody that they can help support Plano seniors by buying these pecan halves. And as Fred said, those will be available starting Friday. Since they'll be available soon, we'll figure out a kickoff day, maybe next Tuesday or sometime when we can go hang out in front of Greek Isles. I'll send an email and Glenn and I will sit outside Greek Isles with cases of pecans if that's convenient for you to come by and pick those up. And we have sign out sheets. If you don't have to pay for the pecans when you take them. You can either pay for them if you'd rather just pay up front, or you have to sign up on the sign up sheet, so that that shows that you're responsible to either bring the pecans back or pay us for the pecans after you've sold them. So I will send that information by email. And then of course, as we get to the spring, you can let students in your life know about the link that Gary was talking about. He and Alex were able to get that online, which is awesome, makes things a lot easier. And then in the spring also, you can volunteer to help Gary. So thank you, Fred and Gary. Fred, I'm sorry that I didn't realize my slides weren't showing, but thank you guys.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Gary, and thank you, Fred, for giving us the details on our pecan project. I just put in the chat our bit.ly by pecans. This is what I encourage everybody to do. Send that link to your friends. They get that link, they can pay with PayPal, and they could go to Greek Isles and pick up their pecans. So we want to keep it simple for people to be able to get the pecans. So if you could text that, email, put it in your Facebook, and people will order it, and you're not really even part of the process because they're going to pay for it and go pick it up. And then Michelle and her team, they're going to get an email when somebody pays for it, and they're going to follow up to make sure, hey, go get it from Greek Isles, or because the district is also going to support us in our pecan sales. So they're going to advertise this at the DFW district level. And so just make sure we get the word out. Buy pecans, it's supporting future Rotarians. One of them is in our club, Bianca Weimer. She's our public image chair. She is one of our scholarship recipients, as well as being an interactor in Rylarian. So she's a perfect example about why we do it. We're investing in our future. So with that, what I want to do now is give an honor to our three members that have presented today. And as we know, we provide our speakers a certificate of appreciation. So we're going to present a separate donation in the name of Michelle Thornton, Fred Biemendorfer, Gary Busey. We're going to make this donation to the Polio Foundation in their names. In appreciation for your time and program, Plano West Rotary will donate $10 in each of your names to the Rotary's Polio Plus Fund, together with the 2-to-1 matching funds from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. That will turn into $30, which will provide a polio vaccine for about 50 kids. So the three of you combined, we're going to vaccinate 150 kids. So that is very exciting. And thank you, the three of you, for heading up this project. As I said, we've been selling pecans 30 plus years. We have helped many students go to college. And as Gary said, we're now focusing on future Rotarians, and Bianca is a great example. She got a scholarship, she joined our club, she's in leadership, and she's doing things as a freshman in college. We want more of that because these students like Bianca and Zane, Jenny, Carolyn, Teha, Brandon, they get infected with the Rotary bug now and they're gonna change the world in the future. So this program is just so exciting. Well, with that, what I want to do now is let everybody know our program for next week is the Rotary Foundation. We're having our district Rotaract chair, Owen Devlin and Happy Franklin. They're going to be talking about what Rotary Foundation at the district level. If you haven't figured out, the Rotary Foundation is really important for us as a club and for us in Rotary. So to close out our meeting, I would like to turn it over to Roxana, and she is going to lead us in the four-way test. Do you guys see my screen up there?
Nope.
No.
So it must have dropped. Let me put it back up there. Sorry for that. How about now?
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go.
So, is it truth? Is it fair to all
All
concerned?
concerned?
Will it
Will it
build
build
Will and better
goodwill and better
friendships.
friendships? Will it be
Will it be
beneficial to all concerned?
All concerned.
Rotary.
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 All right, everybody. Thank you very much. If you haven't vote, and get everybody you know to vote before 7 o'clock today. Have a great week.
Bye.
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 Bye.